What you gonna play now?
Bobby, I don't know.
One, two, you already know what it is. It's your man Skyzoo, Skyzoo, live out the borough, all the way out here in Marseille with Radio Chantier. You know how they doing it, man. One time, and I had the accent right. Let's get it. It was dope, you know. The thing about growing up in Brooklyn, especially in Bed-Stuy and everything, you couldn't get away from hip hop. So it was all we knew. It wasn't like when you go to certain places and, you know, they're not used to it or they want it, but they don't get it that often. It was all we knew. It was, you open up the window and it was blasting outside. You turn on the TV and it was playing. You get in your mother's car and it was playing on the radio. And everybody, you know, had tapes. You was selling tapes on the corner in front of the corner store, bootleg albums, and there was nothing else. Yeah, definitely. I got young parents. You know, my parents had me when they were 20. So when I was 5, they were 25. So they were listening to nothing but hip hop, you know, my whole childhood. That's all they listened to. So I heard it. I get in my father's car, he had NWA, and he had KRS-One, he had Public Enemy, you know, my mother had, you know, Dougie Fresh and Slick Rick, and it was just every day, you know, going to school, I heard it in the morning.
One time up for Chi-Ali, cause I could be in a box if I ain't see that screen. My mama prayed that I wouldn't be Chi-Ali. Now my mama straight cause I wanted to be Chi-Ali. And say my transport strings.
Oh man, it was a Saturday morning. In New York, we used to have a show called Video Music Box, hosted by a VJ by the name of Ralph McDaniels. He's a legendary guy in New York.
Hi, I'm VJ Ralph McDaniels, and
And it came on every Saturday on, you know, public access TV for 1 hour, and it showed all the videos, Salt and Pepper, Big Daddy Kane, DOS Effects, whatever it was, showed everybody. Every Saturday it was on. And I remember one Saturday, this video came on, Chi-Ali, Age Ain't Nothing But a Number, and I was about 9, and I think he was about 14, 15 at the time. And when it came on, I was hooked, because it was a kid, but he wasn't a kid like me. You know, he was a little older, but he wasn't too old where it was like an adult, like my parents or something like that. It was like in between. He was older than me, but he wasn't too old, you know? So to me, he looked like the guys that was in my lobby in my building. Every day when I left, you know, the same guys would be in the hallway tagging the wall or shooting dice in the stairway or smoking or outside on the bench or hanging out, and they had the boom box, and you know, they was talking to the girls and they was play fighting and slap boxing. Those was the cool guys in my neighborhood. You know, those was the guys that we looked at as little kids and said, he's cool, he's cool, he's cool. And he looked like one of those guys in the video, you know. I just wanted to be that. I saw it and I was like, that's it. And the minute the video went off, I just started rapping. I mean, immediately. Well, for me, it always was about rap. I love basketball, still do, and I was pretty good, but it always was about music, you know. Basketball was number 2. It was real close, but I never, you know, had, I'm gonna be a pro basketball. Nah, it was always, I'm gonna be a rapper. But I played every day, because in my neighborhood, and any neighborhood that's similar to mine in New York or anywhere in the country, basketball courts are everywhere. That's all they gave us, you know. They gave us basketball courts and staircases, you know. So if you wasn't in one, you was in the other, you know. So playing basketball was just every day. You go outside, parents say, get out the house, go do something. You know, we didn't have YouTube, we didn't have, you know, all the computers and laptops and iPhones, and we didn't have any of that. It was, you know, Nintendo or Sega Genesis and going outside. And after about an hour or two, my parents be like, get out, go outside, get out the house, you know, get out of here, see you later tonight. And we just go outside to the park and play all day, so.
Okay, written like I'm Nasir, predicted in 5 years, y'all understand what I've been kicking on the contrary. Contrary to the popular and what they all share, I've been sitting where I'm high enough to hit Lamont's ear.
Well, honestly, it's a combination of things. You know, I grew up in a neighborhood where I saw all those things, you know, like when you hear other rappers rhyme, whether it was Biggie or Jay-Z or Nas or Raekwon, I grew up in a neighborhood where you saw all those things. And I grew up listening to those guys, Jay-Z and Raekwon and, you know, Biggie and Nas and, you know, all those great storytellers from New York. But at the same time, I went to school I went to school in neighborhoods that were nothing like my neighborhood. I went to real prestigious schools my whole life. And my parents did that, you know. They wouldn't let me go to school in my neighborhood. You know, I remember my building, right behind the building was a school. Literally, I could look out my window, I could look out my mother's bedroom window and see the school. And every day when I went to school, I had to walk past that school. My mother wouldn't let me go to that school. My father wouldn't let me go to that school. They made me go 30 minutes into the city, 35 minutes to a better school. And I always hated it. I said, why I gotta go so far to school? I gotta wake up so early. I could just go right, it's across the street. I could just go right out. No, you're going to school over there. And I went to school in the city, in Manhattan, in New York. And, you know, it was a way better school, you know, better teachers, better academia, the whole nine. And that's where that part comes from.
Label me different from the jump, when all I was here to do was jump in. Outcast for not knowing what dumb is. They say I'm outcast with a corner store running. I listen to 3 Stacks and hope I'm what he fuck with. I know I'm what he fuck with, never mind hoping, cause dope knows dope. So as far as what the dope is, it gets familiar, the memory stays. No matter the time, no memory's vague. So every memory,
you know, I can credit, you know, my neighborhood for the things that I know, you know, the street knowledge. I could credit Biggie and Jay-Z and Nas and Raekwon and all those guys for being able to flow a certain way and being able to convey words a certain way. But the actual intellect of writing came from me going to school, I can't lie, you know, and I always was in AP English, which in the States, it's advanced placement English, so it's like a, you know, a higher level of English or whatever whatever you want to call it. I was always in AP English classes, so I could read and write, comprehend things in a certain way, but then I still had one foot over here because I had to go home every day, you know. After I left these nice schools with these kids that didn't look anything like me, I had to go back home where everybody looked like me, you know what I mean? And so I had those two worlds and I was stuck in the middle, and that's what made me pen the way that I pen, you know?
Get up, we call it the get up, we call it the get up, we call it the get up. Get it for the winners in the crowd. No, we here to get it for the now. We call it the get up, 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 we call it the get up. Get it for the winners in the stands. Knowing me, I get it with my hands. We took it from. Please listen to my demo. No rolling with my mans in the Benz though. Part in my